Hello, welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I titled, Does it take time to awaken? That is a trick question, like every question. Why is that? Because the question that I would ask is, and who is the one that has to awaken? You see, you are by definition, I don't know if that's the right word, the self. Not you as an individual, but you are. You can never not be. We're not pointing to something that is going to happen in the future. We're pointing to what is. You are always being, except when you believe that you are not. That is to say, when we're identified with our thoughts, we believe our thoughts, we believe the mind, we're overlooking the fact that we simply are. What happens is that the mind has all sorts of conditioning and beliefs about what awakening means. How am I supposed to feel? I will be in bliss forever. There will be no pain, no changes. Everything is going to be seen neutral. But in reality, what we're pointing to here is to the fact that I am beingness. And that is happening right now, whether you believe your thought system or whether you don't. When you're at bed dreaming, it doesn't matter what kind of dream do you have, whether it's a pleasant one or a painful one. None of them can affect what always is, which is you in bed. So, same thing here. You are always being right now. Can you say you are not? Can you say you're not being right now? You see, you are. This is it. See, so there's nothing to do in order to become what you are. So what it seems as though takes the illusion of time, as if time existed. By the way, if you're concerned regarding the illusion of time, watch one of the videos, which I will leave the link in the description below, which I think it's called The Illusion of Time, or Time Doesn't Exist. Anyway, look down at the description and you'll see the link. So you see that time actually doesn't exist. However, within the context we're speaking here, where it appears as if there's a you, there's a me, as if there's a separation, and as if there's time in sequence, well, it appears that it takes time to remember the nature of your being, because the mind is so overshadowed by all the belief system, beginning with the belief or with the thought, I am this individual, that it takes a little bit of time in order to see through all of that. But once you see through all of that, then you realize that you have always been. So actually it didn't take any time for you to know what you are. You were always being right now. Just don't believe anything you think. Just don't identify with your thoughts. Let them be, that's fine, but don't identify with them. And tell me what remains. And if you answer, again, like I've said before, you're still in the mind, because this is not for you to answer, it's for you to notice the obviousness of experiencing, of direct experience. So if you don't believe the content of the mind, if you don't believe any thoughts, what remains, you see? Well, that is what is. This is what we're pointing to all the time. And that is pure experiencing. This is unalterable. It doesn't change. It always is. Now, within that seeming experience, well, there's going to be all sorts of movements. Movements in thoughts, movements in feelings, movement in sensations, movement in emotions, movement in all sorts of happening. But all that movement does not affect the stillness. I said that in a previous video. The stillness that you are, which is pure awareness, which is pure being, you see, which is what is right now. Did it take any time for you to get to what is right now? No. What it may take time is getting used to the fact that you are, because you have convinced yourself that you are something, in this case an individual, who has all these seeming challenges, and who also believes that someday in the future he or she is going to become, I don't know, whatever you want to label it. Again, I'm not against any of the terms or whatever. I'm just pointing to the obvious of what is. See? So does it take any time? I'm asking you now. Does it take any time for you to just be what it is? Just let go of all the concepts you may have about what awakening or enlightenment being, because if that is the case, the mind is going to conjure up all sorts of stories, and you will always believe or feel like you're not there yet, you know. Well, you are there, but you pretend that you're not, and that's where the seeking will continue forever. That's why I don't like to talk about experiences, because then people may think, oh, so I want to have that experience. Some people may have had all sorts of, you know, paranormal or experiences. You know, they saw something special, they saw beautiful bright lights, or they felt that they were not the body. And that's fine, you know. I call those, I don't know, bonuses, you know, to let you know that you're more than what you think yourself to be. But again, the problem with that is that if you start chasing those experiences, assuming that that's it, that, you know, that awakening or enlightenment feels that way, and that's the way you will be forever, then you notice that everything is transitory, and when those experiences leave, now you're stuck back in believing that you're not enlightened or you're not awakened, and now you're pursuing those experiences, and they may never come, you see. And then what happens is that although those experiences could be little gift that life presents you in order for you to see that you're more than what you think you are, now you could end up a life of suffering, pursuing something that probably will never happen again, because again, does not need to happen. See, life is right now, whether there's a headache or whether there is not, whether there's money in the bank or whether it's not, whether there's a relationship, whether it's not, whether whatever is happening, it doesn't matter, does not affect what I am. That's what we're pointing to. See? So you already are. Let's get rid of the terms awakened or enlightened or something like that, and this is it. See, this is it. The question is, are you ready to see the obviousness of this, or the conditioning of the mind still believe, no, this is not, has to be different? And then ask yourself, but has to be different for whom? You see? Because this idea that this have to be different belongs to a seeming entity. Okay, I am here, I am an individual, I'm a separate individual, I feel this way, and I need to now feel in this other way in order to be whatever the mind told me that I should be or become. You see? And that's how the simple becomes complicated. It's just what is, you know? It is, this is it. Like the last book I wrote, which is not published yet as of this video, but probably in the next couple of weeks, which is entitled, What is Before Any Thought? See, we're pointing to that. It's very obvious. There's no need to, I don't need to do anything to be what I am. There's no practice, there's no exercise, there's nothing, because I'm already am. Even if I am doing a practice or an exercise, I am while I seem to be doing that practice of exercise, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But if I believe the exercise will get me to where I am, then the exercise will be the obstacle to what I am, you see? So if you like to sit down in quiet contemplation, you are while sitting down in practice, in quiet contemplation. But if you think that quiet contemplation is going to lead you to what you are, paradoxical, the quiet contemplation is the obstacle to what already is, you see? So we're just pointing to the obvious. Just being. This is it, you see? And there's no time requirement for this. Once again, because there's so much conditioning that believe I am not this, it seems as though it may take some time to convince myself and realizing, oh my God, I am. I have always been. I will always be, because I am. It's all there is. Okay, well, I hope this inspiration, this, I don't know, whatever I was inspired, or this instrument was inspired to share, served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.